welcome to the Sports Show. A lot to talk about. Mike, Max, Patrick, Royce, Lou Nanny, and the one and only Sid Hartman. Sid, I think the novelty of outdoor football has wore off a little bit. It was cold out there today, but the Vikings beat Carolina in an impressive game.
Well, with 9:35 left to play, the Gophers had rushed and passed for 61 yards.
All right, I'll get
wait, let me finish.
He's going to bring it back, I think. Okay, go ahead.
And they're behind 14. They're ahead 14 to nothing.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the Vikings.
Punts.
Oh, the Vikings. The Vikings. Okay.
You said the Gophers. You said the Gophers.
Yeah. Gophers.
Okay, so go back. So what you're saying is they barely ran a play, and they had 14 to nothing.
2 block punts.
Yeah. What did you think of the game today and the performance?
I thought it was a boring game to watch, I'll tell you.
It was kind of boring because they got hit 28 to 6.
You used to tell me it's never boring when you win.
Carolina is terrible.
How many people?
That's a great question.
Because I saw some photos of the tailgate lots an hour before the game, and there were 12 cars there.
It was
Did
nice and empty when we left.
Did
No traffic jam.
They have 40,000?
Boy, I don't know, man.
Oh, it filled up a lot more towards the end.
Yeah, but it got empty at the end.
The first quarter, there must have been 10,000 no-shows.
And at halftime, there were
filled up,
that left.
but then they left.
Yeah, remember when we were building this place and everybody said, let's get back to the old Viking style of football. Who needs a roof? We don't need a roof. Let us go. We want to be outdoors. Yeah, sure you do.
I said, not me. I never made a Viking game past the half at Old Stadium. I go up back on the RV and watch it on TV.
Yes.
The college season just about right.
Yeah, well, the college season ends when you can tolerate
You asked
it.
me about the Gophers.
No, we're starting with the Vikings. We were just talking about the Vikings in outdoor football.
I thought Bridgewater looked pretty good today.
Really? That's the first time this year you've said that.
I thought, but he was against a terrible team,
Okay, so there's a
that helped
disclaimer
a little bit. But Carolina's lost 6 in a row. They got 6 new offensive guys. They got 6 offensive guys on the emergency injured list.
Yep.
So
Their offensive linemen. They were the surprise team of the league last year. They were 12-4. They had the big run down.
Remember, they started that against the Vikings.
They were supposed to have a great defense, and their defense stinks, and their offensive line is destroyed, and Cam Newton looks like just a gun shy.
But stop and think about it. When the Vikings played the Rams early in the year, and they destroyed the Rams.
Yeah.
And I thought the Rams wouldn't win a game this year.
They're terrible.
They're beating everybody lately.
I know.
When they lost in the last play to Buffalo, which is playing very well. They've won a whole bunch of games in a row, and they're pretty good. So all these teams, you never know who's going to win, who's going to lose. Even when you think they're terrible, they come up with a good game. And the way the league is right now.
Oakland beat Kansas City last year and came back with a 52-0 loss to St. Louis
Did
today.
you see the stats on today's game?
Yeah.
They had double what the Vikings had offensively.
But it doesn't matter.
You know, it's like shots on goal. You get outshot 40-10, but you win 2-1 with 10 shots.
Yeah.
A week from now, nobody remembers the shots.
Well, plus you lost 2 possessions because you blocked the punt and took it in for a touchdown.
Yeah,
so
right.
there's 2 possessions you never got, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about Mike Zimmer. I think he's kind of growing on people, that people appreciate who he is, how he goes about his business. What do you think?
I think they got the right coach. I think he's a fantastic defensive coach. I think once they get some personnel, they got holes. They played that Mike Harris at one tackle. They played, who was at the other tackle? Joe
DeLeo.
Berger. They played offensive line. Lord,
Holt's out.
he's done.
Yep. Fusco's out.
Fusco's gone. They got no running backs.
I got to tell you, that's the worst running backs I've ever seen in a stable.
Well, what the most interesting character to me, though, right now is Cordero Patterson. Doesn't play the first half, and they said he went to a funeral and he didn't practice, but there seems to be more to it than this. There's something going on.
At the press conference
There's
afterwards.
something going on between Zimmer, Norv, and Patterson.
I don't know, because Zimmer went out of his way after the press conference to say, hey, I like Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, but
he
says
said,
that
if you
all
don't practice,
He won't be here.
he said, we want him to play.
He won't be here next year.
And he said he's made some improvements.
2 years. He's still
He's
at
You watch and see.
He said, but he sounded authentically. He says, I like Cordero. What he was trying to say, I think, was, you gotta play better and you gotta be at practice.
Well, Cobb wasn't in practice. He played. If you're a good player, you make allowances if a guy misses a practice.
Supposedly he went to a funeral. I don't know.
But even if
he
he
did.
did, they're
That's
obviously upset with something about him.
Well, he just hasn't performed his production
that's why,
for whatever reason. Now, is it his fault, Bridgewater's fault? I don't know.
It's his fault. He can catch those four. Bridgewater can very accurately throw those 4-yard passes that he throws, those checkdowns. They never throw any to him. He must be running in circles. There's something wrong here.
That's the old sophomore jinx, Louis, they talk about.
Well, I didn't know they had it in football, too. Because I've seen a lot of good ones.
They are double covering him.
Not much.
He's a one guy. I watched a little bit today. They were pretty much double covering him all the time.
Well,
you had to watch him on the
because he
sideline.
wasn't
He
in
didn't
very
play.
much. I don't know who was double covering him.
Well,
Take a break, come back.
Last week,
The Ushers.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
The holiday season is here, which means it's time for the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event. For practically just your signature, you could drive home for the holidays in a German-engineered Volkswagen, like the sporty, advanced new Jetta and the 2015 Motor Trend Car of the Year all-new Golf. If you're wishing for a new Volkswagen this season, just about all you need is a finely tuned pen.
Hurry into the Sign Then Drive event and get a $500 Black Friday bonus on select new Volkswagen models. Black Friday bonus offer ends December 1st.
Watching and streaming football with Xfinity on the X1 Entertainment operating system feels just like skydiving. While following all live scores and stats with the X1 Sports app may not look like skydiving, it will feel just like skydiving. And who wouldn't want to feel like this while they're doing this, but like this, with this, but like this? Make the most live sports more live with the X1 Entertainment operating system. Switch to the Xfinity X1 Triple Play for $89.99 a month for 12 months.
For a limited time, get amazing deals on your favorite Toyota models during the Toyota Black Friday sales event starting Wednesday, November 26th. Right now, get $500 bonus cash on select Toyota models on top of existing incentives. Plus, defer your payment till next year when you buy any new Toyota vehicle, only during Toyota's Black Friday sales event. Act fast and visit your Toyota dealer today because these deals end December 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
See why more people are coming to Audi than ever before at Audi Minneapolis. Experience the legendary performance and handling of an A4 2.0 T Quattro. Lease yours for only $379 a month. Plus, Audi Minneapolis will make your first month's payment. Or try out the luxury and power of an A6. Lease for just $499 a month. The Summer of Audi event at Audi Minneapolis on 394 at General Mills Boulevard and at AudiMinneapolis.com.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
Locally owned, nationally known, J.D. Hoyt's on Washington. Holiday season, perfect place to go or go buy a gift certificate and make somebody really happy on your holiday list. Welcome back to the sports show. So Ray Rice gets the okay to play, but that means nothing about Adrian Peterson's appeal on Tuesday. They can look at it, and the Vikings are not very optimistic that this Harold Henderson will rule in their favor right now.
I was told by some of the Viking officials today that there's no similarities. They're completely different.
That's what I was told, too.
So I don't think he'll be back. I think he's going to give up. The one thing I've been saying all the time, he will give back some of that money. And you can bet he'll give back 5 games before it's over with.
Yeah.
Well, but only if he gets to play, gets reinstated.
Well, they might fine him, and they'll say you're okay to play. We'll reinstate you. You're fine, and that's it. Maybe he might not get to play. Maybe the team won't play him. But if they do that, then like Sid says, he'll have a fine. He'll have to pay it.
Or they just take it out of his check, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what the guy says. I would think they're going to try to make it a 6-game suspension, which is the maximum, and at least he won't get paid for what's left of this year, and they'll probably have to give him 2 paychecks next year.
But
Let me tell you,
date,
he'll need some of that money to pay this lawyer. This lawyer, they say, is the highest
Rusty
operator
that's
in the
Roger
world.
Clemens, right? Mm-hmm. But the Wilfs are the ones that really lost in this deal, too, because he's been on that exempt list, so they've had to pay him the whole year, and they've got nothing in return.
Well, they'll get some of that money back.
Maybe some, but I'm just saying, to date, they haven't gotten anything back.
Well, that'd be strange if they got it back, because if you get fined, it goes to the league. I don't know how they're going to get it back.
The team doesn't get it back.
They can't get it back.
I don't know.
So you, in essence, pay Adrian, then Adrian
But the
pays
difference
the league?
is race.
You take it right now. They'd have to take it from Adrian, but if they're going to take it from checks that are coming, it still goes to the league.
But the
when you get
so the Wilfs are still writing the checks.
Yeah, the Wilfs have to write the check to Adrian, but Adrian's got to pay the league.
Yeah.
Rice, the difference is Rice had a 2-game suspension on the same evidence. The arbitrator ruled that the evidence didn't change. All they did was see the videotape, and then they changed it to 6 games. So that's why he got reinstated. But he's going to have a harder time finding a job than Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, you got to evaluate these guys as football players, and I don't know what his market value is.
He's a hell of a football player, but that video out there of him punching the wife is not good.
Maybe they're watching the Grey Cup tonight to see
who's available.
To get used to Canadian football, because that's
that
probably
where they play.
Where they might end up playing.
Ontario Smith went there.
Who we got tonight? Who's playing?
I think it's Calgary and Hamilton.
Okay.
I think you're going to find that all these guys that get in trouble will not get another job. I just think these owners are taking so much heat on this stuff, and corporate sponsors and people like that they will not get jobs.
Well, that's a good, interesting question. I guess we'll find out, huh?
I don't know about Rice. I think Peterson will play next year.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
We were just talking during the break about Jim Harbaugh possibly getting traded. The coach.
The San Francisco.
San Francisco talking about trading Jim Harbaugh, the coach.
To coach?
Yeah.
Trade him. They won't have to trade him. He can have the Michigan job if he wants it.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be a good college coach.
I think he'd be hellacious for about 4 years. And he's going to, I think college would be better for him, because by the time the players get sick of him, they're gone, right? Then you got a whole new group.
I can't see him going back to recruiting. After you've had the recruiting, then you go to pros where you don't have to recruit, and then have to go back and go recruit 17, 18-year-old players. That's not.
Don't bet on it.
No, I'm not betting on it, but I'd say, I know for me, I wouldn't be going back to recruiting.
That's the guy they want.
I know they want that, but he's got to want that.
Whatever he got at San Francisco.
Sid, that's not the problem. Does he want to do that?
He might not have a job in San Francisco.
Well, then Chicago will hire him in a bit.
The Bears will hire him, or somebody'd hire him.
Do you think Bo Pelini should have been fired?
Huh?
Bo Pelini in Nebraska, were you surprised they fired him?
No, he's crazy anyway. He's been on the verge of getting fired every year. The only guy who saved him was Tom Osborne, brought him there, And Tom Osborne is no longer athletic director, so the new athletic director, the first opportunity was to get to fire him, he did.
Yep.
9 wins a year, though.
It's something.
Tough standard down there, man.
Yeah, 9-3.
You win 9 every year and you get fired. He is goofy, but they got to get somebody in there to play old-time Nebraska football, though. Smash mouth, hard nose. They don't. The Gophers have been physically tougher than them 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But you want to know what no one thinks about, and someone told me this, and it probably is true. Nebraska's now in the Big Ten, which means these games aren't seen as much down south. They used to get a lot of football players from Texas and areas like that because they were playing Texas.
Big 8.
Now they're not playing them anymore.
Big 12, Big 8.
That's right. So those kids want to come up to Nebraska like they did before.
Let me tell you another thing about Nebraska. They're playing a much tougher schedule than they used to play. When you play in the Big Ten, they used to play a lot of teams that weren't too good.
Yeah, well, this year they got to play a lot of teams that weren't too good in the Big Ten. So.
Yeah, they did, and they didn't always do well. Let's take a break, come back.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
In a world full of compromise, the Audi A3 takes a different path. Get uncompromised design, the style and presence of Audi in a lighter, smaller form, uncompromised performance, a lightning-quick turbocharged engine, and race-bred S-tronic transmission. Uncompromised luxury with standard leather seating and panoramic sunroof. Lease your A3 for only $299 a month. Plus, during the Summer of Audi event, Audi Minneapolis will make your first payment. Stay uncompromised. Audi Minneapolis.
Audi Minneapolis, stop on by right off of General Mills Boulevard. As we head towards wintertime, you might want to check out one of those Q7s. Great four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive vehicle. Stop on by, say hi to Charlie. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Louis, you and I were in Madison yesterday watching the Gophers. Say what you want about Wisconsin. About as good a game day environment as you can find.
It's always terrific. The atmosphere there is unbelievable. It was 45 degrees. It's amazing how that student section fills up. It looks like you're not going to have
it wasn't going to happen.
Exactly. It's half full, and there's 2 minutes to go to game time.
Yeah, and you go, okay, they didn't come back
by the time
break,
the
right?
national anthem
Win, baby. I can remember
win or
go
not,
down there and there'd be 30,000 people.
Well,
I was there with him one day. There were 30,000 people.
But it's 11.
That's 20
The
years
11 o'clock games are even worse because there's nobody there, and then halfway through the first quarter, you look and there's 20,000 students. So.
Yeah. Well, I thought the Gophers, I thought that was a good football game, and it was about kind of what I expected. What did you think?
Well, I thought the turning point in the game was when that Tommy Olson got that penalty.
Boy, are they hot about that.
Huh? Reshi says the university, I haven't seen their film, but I know somebody's got a film, and definitely that 70-yard pass was thrown after the
clock ran out.
Went off. And then they had 12 men on the field, and they didn't call that. I don't say the officials beat him because Wisconsin's a very good football team. But for the Gophers to win, they had everything had to go right. And anything that went wrong, and I think that Cobb hurt his arm the first half. I watched on TV, he kept on massaging his arm.
No, I talked to him today for a long time.
Huh?
I talked to him today for a long time.
Yeah.
He was great, though. Cobb played great.
Oh, he was terrific.
He was great.
They flew somebody in, Patrick, just a hamstring specialist to work on
really?
his hamstring. I didn't know they had
I
hamstrings.
think Jerry kind of fibbed to us a little this week about how it is very questionable. I think
don't.
from now on, when you quote Jerry on injuries, you ought to say, but he's probably lying.
Well, hold on. I got to let me say this. Why should he tell the truth, whether he did or not? I wouldn't tell you if I was a coach.
But I don't think the media should be involved in sending out that message.
Well, then don't ask the question.
Well, that's
Well, I
don't
know.
ask the question. I don't care about it.
Told me
I don't blame
he was
Kill
gonna
for doing
play. Pat Smith told me he's going to play on Tuesday, and there's no doubt he was going to play.
Okay, I was told that on Friday they wouldn't let him go unless he could go 100% on Friday, and he got to 100% on Friday.
But that doesn't matter, you know.
Maybe the guy
for it to be a big thing, the other team should be preparing for him anyway.
Yeah, that's
and why should you know? I wouldn't tell these guys the truth if I'm going to play in a big game.
Don't we know that about you back in your days in the North
My
Stars?
days, even today, I wouldn't do. Why would I tell them anything that might help the opposition?
No, I blame us. I
Okay,
blame
good.
us for sending
Good.
out the information that Kill might be telling the truth. So,
Yeah.
but by the way, and if you're preparing for the Gophers, they're going to run 65% of the time, whether it's David Cobb or Roderick Williams or.
Boy, I got to tell you that you could tell the difference between David Cobb and the rest of the running backs. There's a big difference.
They did work him out before the game. They showed it on TV.
What did I just say? I said on Friday they checked him, and on Saturday they rechecked him.
Kill, I don't know what he told you. He thought he had a chance.
Well, anyway, it was a hell of a football game, and Melvin Gordon is great. Melvin Gordon was this close about 5 times, and the Gophers tackled like maniacs to keep him to 150 yards. I thought
it was a great
I thought
game.
the defense played great.
Louis, this football program has been restored to a place that I haven't seen it.
No, it's so exciting. I felt so bad for them yesterday. They played their hearts out. If they could have completed a few more passes, I think it might have been a difference. But the Gophers played so well all year. And the one thing that I was telling one of the guys when we were coming back last night that I really like is every week our guys knock out their guys. There's 3 or 4 or 5 of the other team that goes out of the lineup. Used to be our team getting beat up all the time. Now it's the other team getting beat up. I really like the way they've strengthened these guys up. They've toughed them up. They play their hearts out. I don't know where you can ask for a better dollar for entertainment than they give you.
They played 10 freshmen.
Yeah.
They played 4 freshman defensive linemen. And now he's kicking himself in the rear end. He's got 4 outstanding wide receivers. They redshirted, and he found out in the middle of the season he didn't have wide receivers.
Might as well turn them into linebackers if they don't change quarterbacks.
They got a couple that are about 6'4".
Huh?
They got a couple of kids about 6'4", redshirt wide receivers that he wants. He thinks.
But he didn't want to redshirt them, not take them off for a redshirt in the middle of the season.
I'll tell you what, Sid, he's got some seniors who are monsters, though.
Yeah.
Botticelli and Wilson and Cedric Thompson. And
he lose some pretty good guys.
Tommy Olson, Epping. They got some good seniors too.
But that's the way it should be right now, right?
Yeah.
That's
right.
Good seniors and good redshirt freshmen coming, and I mean, if you got it going.
Hopefully Jones is going to be eligible, and if he's all that he's hyped up to be, that'll help replace Cobb, which is a tough thing to do, but they can do it.
That one who got his knee got hurt, as good as any of them.
Drew Worotarski.
Iowa Community College, that Capron or whatever the name is. They got a pretty good recruiting squad too.
Yeah. Cody Pook?
Take a break, come back.
Pook. I don't know. Yeah.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, Christian Ponder, the Wild, Zach Parisi, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. Justin Bieber! Hey, I like him first. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. Bob Weiss and Beacon Bank going to do a little hunting with Bob this week because that's the kind of guy he is. You need a partner? Go to Beacon Bank. You need to get something.
He's got his money there.
Darn right.
Mike Max has got all his money there.
Darn right, buddy. I want to get you in there some of that construction.
You're going to shoot those poor pheasants shivering in this cold weather when they're all bunched up?
Yeah, you're correct. Yes. Any other questions? The Minnesota Wild, Louis. What do we got here?
Well, you got
hard
a team
to figure.
Well, I don't know if they're hard to figure. They just got to score goals. We've had that problem last year, hoping Vanek would improve it. He hasn't scored as much as we thought, but some of the other guys haven't scored either. But they give you a good effort every night. They can win every game they're in. They had a couple games where they didn't get good goaltending, but it seems to have bounced back. They should have beat St. Louis, last night.
What's happening to Charlie Coyle? Where's that? Let's get a goal here. He hasn't scored a goal in a month.
No, he's got to shoot the puck more rather than look for plays.
Is that what his problem is?
Some of the guys, they defer too much. In this game, you don't get opportunities a lot, and when you get them, you got to take them.
The power play, everybody's analyzing the power play. Do they need to shake that up?
Well, they've shaken it up a lot, but they got to keep trying to do something. Seems maybe they're going to get better now with Vanek and Parisi out there, and if you got Palmerville shooting, I think when you got to change maybe the points a little bit. Maybe get Scandella, Brodeen, Spurgeon, and start shooting some pucks from the point and get them on net.
Let me ask you about another hockey team. How about the Great Gophers? What's their problem?
I think their problem is intensity, and it hasn't been complete intensity every game. They played very well against Boston College, and they go against Northeastern and won 2 games last night and get beat by Northeastern, and especially, their only 2 goals were in the power play. Against Northeastern, they should be scoring 5-on-5. They got to score goals like the Wild's having a problem. They have a problem.
Louis, 2 of your best buddies, obviously Muzz Oliver and Pat Quinn died on the same day. Pat had been sick for a long time, but Muzz was a shocker and going to be a service for him this week.
Yeah, in fact, I'm leaving in the morning for Quinn's, and then I'll take the red eye back for Murray's. Pat was in the hospital. He had some heart problem with his liver, gave him some problem. He went in the hospital, got a virus, and really, they never got rid of it. And he was in there intensive care for 10, 12 days, and he was in there about a month and a half. Murray had some heart problems, but he had been on a doctor Friday just before that, and they didn't say his heart was any kind of problem. Sunday morning, he went in the kitchen to get a coffee, and
I didn't realize until I looked back at his record when he was a kid what a good player Murray was.
Murray was
he scored
a tremendous
26 goals as a rookie.
17 years in the league.
Lives here, right?
Well, Quinn's daughter is here.
Pat Quinn's daughter's my neighbor. I sat with him at a Christmas party. He and Chuck Fletcher and Cliff Fletcher last year, and he was in great health last year at Christmas time. This all happened in the last couple of months.
Well, actually, it happened before that. I had dinner with him earlier in Vancouver, and I came away and I told Sather in August, my wife and I were up visiting with Sather and his wife in Banff, and he had called Pat and Sandy to join us, and Pat says he wasn't feeling well. And I told Glenn at that time, I said, I don't like the way he looks because he doesn't look that healthy to me.
15 seconds left. Sid, you see that final thing we've got? We've got Sid's thoughts. It's just kind of a chance for you to give some. Okay.
We'll beat Missouri in the Citrus Bowl, and everybody else forgot about the Wisconsin loss.
Is that your thought for the day?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Short and brief, the way we like it. See you back here next week, everybody.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King, for the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology, life is worth hearing.